Ooh, we're live! Yay,
Yay!
we're live! Woo!
Yay! All right.
It worked. Nobody got pregnant. Nobody died.
Welcome to the Extra Live Show. I'm your host, Kyle McCauley. Today I'm joined with the other Kyle, Kyle Penrod.
Bye! How's it going? Oh, you did not just seize up. Oh, I hear audio. Oh no.
Can you hear me? I'm still moving. This is me moving.
You weren't.
Oh. Well, don't worry about what I'm doing. As long as you can hear me, that's all that really matters.
I couldn't. Completely stopped.
Great. That's awesome.
Yeah, that's a good start.
Yes. So we're already off to some technical difficulties here. That's great.
Well, we'll just blame Google.
Yeah. Well, that's the popular thing to do, right?
Yeah, fuck Google.
So, this is the inaugural episode 0 of the Extra Live Show. The new podcast brought to you by the Kyles.
Woo.
The one and only Kyles.
Yep, we're the... Oh, I can't say that on there. Never mind.
I don't want to know.
Had to do with our initials, but
Oh.
we don't have the third one.
If we had a third one, yeah, that would be a very unfortunate.
Well, that's your wife.
Yeah, that would
Like
be
everywhere we go,
that would be a very unfortunate podcast name.
we're dragging that around with us.
So, yeah, this is going to be, I'm hoping, a weekly podcast that we can do that is video game themed and such. What are you typing there?
I'm sorry.
It's all right. Sorry, I took a drink.
I can multitask. I'm looking up. I'm researching webcams because I'm not satisfied with this webcam.
Well, I'm satisfied because I can see your face, and that's all that really matters.
Yeah. I don't see how you could see my face, dude. There's like hair here, and then I'm wearing a headset, and you're only getting about this much face.
I want to apologize to anyone who may happen to be listening to this via audio.
Yeah.
Because Kyle's talking in a very video sense, so.
Yeah, that's gonna be hard to turn off, actually.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree.
So, okay.
That'll be one of the things we'll have to work with and figure out as we go. But so people might know us from the Backwards Compatible podcast.
Well, if they know us from the internet, guess what they know us from?
Yeah, probably that. You know, I don't really know where to go with that. That was a good thing that we had going there, but things have changed and life happens and people don't have a whole lot of time anymore. So the best way that we can do this now is just in my attic in your living room over the internet. So I figured it was better to do that than do nothing at all. So wouldn't you agree?
Sounds like a good plan.
All right, cool. Well, once again, this is episode 0, so hopefully no one ever has to actually hear this, but I'm glad that we started tonight, of all nights, the 13th. That's a great lucky number to start. July the 13th.
Sunday the 13th. Woo!
Yes. Woo! So, with that, let us go ahead and jump on in here. And I guess we're going to go to the tired and true format of what you've been playing. So, Kyle, I look to you first. What have you been playing?
You look to me first? I'm first. Okay. Well, obviously there's the standard League of Legends.
Boo.
Oh, don't give me that shit. This coming from the guy that was playing League with me not too long ago, and I won for him.
Hey, I did.
And yes, I did, because I played Soraka, who's a healer, and destroyed all those kids. It was pretty hilarious.
I will say that was definitely an interesting match, in that I'm not used to playing like League or any MOBA like at a quote unquote competitive level, nor am I used to having a healer, and the fact that every time I would get hit, I would immediately run away, and you're like, get back in there. I'm gonna heal you. Just get back in there. And I'm like, oh god.
Well, you can take some damage, so.
I'm a chicken when it comes to that. Like I don't want to be the person who is feeding the other team. So as soon as I get hit, I'm like, I gotta get out of here.
Yeah, but no risk, no reward, you know. So like sometimes, and you were on Tristana too, man. So like she could dump some deeps, man.
Well, fair enough, but I don't play it enough to feel
Oh
good
yeah, I know.
that type of thing.
No, I know.
So I don't know. What are you doing on League nowadays? I mean, you've been playing League for over a year and a half now, 2 years almost, maybe.
Yeah, it's been a while. I don't think it's been quite 2 years just yet, but yeah, it's definitely been over about a year and a half or so, probably now, or maybe yeah, something like that. I don't know. It doesn't matter. Um, but yeah, I went ranked there for a little while. I played ranked, and I didn't get out of silver, which was a bruise to my ego. But at least I wasn't stuck in bronze 5,
So, but
which
you
is
you made it to
horrible.
silver though.
Yeah, I actually I skipped bronze completely.
Hmm.
And no, I didn't. I'm sorry. I was in bronze 1. I um I placed and put me in bronze 1, so it's 4 levels ahead of the worst, which is
Hmm.
bronze 5.
Hmm.
And then so I was pretty ecstatic about being in bronze 1, and then cuz then my next step was silver 5.
Yeah.
So I worked hard, I got wins, and got it to silver 5. And that's where I started to get beat down pretty bad. But the good thing is though they put in the game, that like there's it's kind of weird. I never really looked into it much, like how much you have to lose in order to get busted down.
Hmm.
But I mean, it's a certain amount of losses. But the thing is like when you go up a tier like that, it gives you a certain amount of time that you're kind of immune to being busted back down to your old rank.
Hmm.
Because I mean, when you move tiers like that, you're all of a sudden playing with a much better player base.
Hmm.
So and apparently that happened in the past, that people would move out of bronze into silver or silver into gold and whatnot, and then just get thrashed out of there and
Hmm.
sent right back down, and it was a huge ego boot, not boost, but the opposite of boost. Um,
A huge attack to the ego, or a huge
yes, something like
blow
that.
blow to the ego. There you go.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
It's
Words.
late. Now I'm tired.
uh,
um,
well, what exactly are you working towards? I guess. So when you start ranked League of Legends matches, you said that you started bronze 5 and you move your way up and whatnot. I mean, what's your end goal? Is it just like see how high you can get and where you're ranked and like players worldwide, or is it like I got to get to gold 1 and then like I prestige or something of that sort? Like, is there anything that you're working towards?
no, there's no like prestige or anything like Call of Duty or nothing. I mean, you're working towards your rank. You want to place as high as you can.
Hmm.
Because see, the thing is like they recruit out of the single queue for like professional gamers,
Hmm.
which is not what I aspire to be at all. I pretty much just did it just to see how good I am, just to put a marker on how good I can tell people that how I play League, how well I can play League,
Right.
um, and that's pretty much the only reason I did it. Like this season, dude, I haven't worried about placing at all. Um, Mostly because like the guys that I play with, they're not worried about it. So it's like, well, I mean, if you're really gonna be serious about ranked, you need to have a team of 5,
Yeah.
and there's no freaking way I'm taking Tyler in there. I mean, Dude, it happened the other night. A bunch of his friends wanted to take him and Dwayne into a ranked match, got them both in there, then kicked Tyler out and replaced him and went.
Oh, really?
Just completely left him, dude. Yeah,
Man.
he's just that type of player, man. Anyway, this I'm not going to get on that, but yeah, but yeah, no, I pretty much just play League for fun, just because it's fun. I like playing it.
Okay.
Um, I'm familiar with it. The matches go quickly, uh, so
Yeah.
um,
Um. That was the only question that I really had because no one's ever. Honestly, you're like the only person who's ever talked to me about ranked matches or anything of that sort.
hmm.
Um, outside of that, like I don't know like what competitive league is really like. I've never watched. Um, what,
LCS.
yeah. What's their big end of the year type of deal? Like Dota has the international. What does League have?
The LCS.
The championship series, I guess, is LCS.
Oh yeah, they'll have like LCS Worlds,
Oh, okay.
and they'll mix everybody, and the Asians will win. It's true.
That's very nice.
they dude, I'm telling you, it's nothing racist or nothing bad. They play games better than we do. Like it's just facts. I guess they just got more time or whatever. Or
Oh,
I don't
man.
know. I don't know what makes them better. I can tell you this: the Asian people that I know, so one would say that it's probably reflexes, right? No, the Asian people that I know have piss poor reflexes, So I don't know.
What the hell make? No, no, never mind. Well,
Kenny's
speak.
pretty good.
Kenny's good at everything. So,
I don't
um,
know about that, but
so speaking of Asians, what else have you been playing? Specifically, a game with the word triad in it.
I don't know what you're talking about.
No, you don't know any idea what I'm
Man,
talking
I picked that game up today.
about?
So that would be the new Rise of the Triad.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I am I'm surprised at this video game, um, that I would like it. What are you doing?
I'm sorry. I'm fiddling around with Windows. What exactly? All right. So for anyone who's listening who doesn't know, Rise of the Triad is a remake of an older game that is it's just a modern version of a very old school first person shooter, PC shooter, in that you run really fast. You're not following markers or anything like that. You're just getting guns and blowing shit up as like loud as possible. Um, it's pretty awesome.
Yeah, it's super fun. And I don't know if it's the difficulty that I picked. I picked normal difficulty.
hmm
What difficulty did you pick?
I picked normal too
Uh-huh.
because I always pick normal. So
Yeah, I always pick normal. I never take the easiest one, and I've taken the hardest one. Whew. That can be fun. The only problem with this game is there is a ton of glitches, dude. I found a lot of glitches.
really,
Yeah, like one of them. You know how you get that special weapon, right? You've got number one, you have pistol. Number two, you have dual pistols. Number three, you have your submachine gun. Number four, you have your big weapon.
yeah, normally
Yeah.
a rocket launcher or something like that.
Yeah, rocket launcher. There's two different types of rocket launchers, and one of them kind of senses where they're at.
hmm
You blows them all up. And then there's the super awesome freaking shotgun, dude, which is the best, dude. Well, the best that I've run into so far, because it's got an alternate fire mode
Hmm.
that
Oh
does
yeah.
not befitting of a shotgun. Okay, like this thing is a shotgun, like a triple barreled shotgun. Like you could just boom, 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 just rip off shots like crazy, kill multiple people with the shotgun part of it. But then it has an alternate fire where it shoots this thing that goes off after a second and it keeps blowing up for like 3 or 5 seconds, dude.
Yeah.
And there was a whole bunch of people. Like I was actually playing the game while you were talking to me, and and I was like, oh my god, that was fucking awesome, because there was a whole bunch of guys like in this room, and I shot that thing right in the room, dude, and there's just body parts flying out of there, dude. It was nuts, dude.
Yeah,
Uh,
that game does a really good job of blowing people up, making it
oh
feel
yeah.
very satisfying.
You can even shoot them with the SMG or the pistols enough, and the bodies will explode.
Hmm. Hmm.
Um, but at any rate, now I don't know if it's the difficulty that I picked or whatever, but my pistols and my SMG have unlimited ammunition, and you don't have to reload. Like you can just and just keep going, you know.
So yeah, I was telling you earlier about that off air that I was playing, and I've been so trained by Call of Duty and Battlefield to reload after so many shots, so you're not caught with your pants down.
Right.
That I was constantly having to reload, and I like you have infinite bullets. It says that, but I just kind of kept feeling like I was gonna need to reload anyway. Assuming that like they put a limit on like whatever clip you had, because like there's a reload animation. You would assume that you have to reload, and then
Yeah.
eventually at one point I'm just playing and like I shot for like a while and I realized I wasn't reloading, and I was like, wait a minute, and then I just click the mouse down and I just hold it, and I'm holding it and I'm holding it for like a good 5 minutes. It never has to stop to reload, and I was like, what is going on?
Yeah. Um, yeah, it's I don't know what the deal is. I'm gonna have to try the other game modes to see if it's still like that, because I can't imagine it being like. Of course, then again, though, if you notice, you never pick up those like ammo for those weapons, or there's usually not a pistol or an SMG laying around. It's usually the bigger weapons. Um, so yeah, I'm thinking that the game is just made like that. You know, it's just supposed to be fun and not really a serious game, which is good, because if it was a serious game, it would be absolutely asinine. Um, but no, yeah, the game is fun as hell, and I didn't expect it to be. Like I was, this is going to be taken off of another podcast that I listened to, this phrase, but it was like the games were made like that back then, and not made like that anymore for a reason. I've run into some parts and some levels that I can't figure out how to get to an area and shit, and you end up just running around for a long time, which is pretty annoying. Um, but other than that, I'm having a blast playing it. Like, dude, I was like audibly uh, having a good time here at my house playing that game. I was like, ah, holy shit, that's awesome, and stuff. Yeah, it was good.
Nice.
Um, but yeah, no, that's a good game.
Yeah,
Uh,
I would agree 100%. I mean, it's on sale. I don't think it's on sale anymore today.
it's when
Um,
I bought it, it had 36 hours to go, and I bought it
okay.
earlier today. So
So yeah, it's on sale until tomorrow, which would be Monday the 14th, which nobody will hear this, but in case you do, if you
three
it's
bucks, can't
yeah,
beat it.
yeah, no, um it was quite a steal for $3, and I mean, it's not a great game, it's not going to win game of the year or anything like that. And I wouldn't even say it's necessarily like a particularly great throwback game,
Mm.
but there's enough going on that I was having a really good time with it.
See, I'm actually surprised that they even made the game, because I always thought that Rise of the Triad was a pretty like obscure old
Hmm.
game.
Hmm.
Like I knew about it, and I still have, dude. I still have a CD with the original game
Oh
on it.
yeah, the original.
Yeah, and it's bad. But um, but I still enjoyed playing it. It was. But I mean, I was a kid. I was a kid the last time I played it, so I don't even remember hardly anything about it. Just, like the way it was. I remember getting God mode in that. Which, oh, by the way, you get God mode in this game like right off the bat too.
Oh, really?
Like it, yeah. There's you have to run past some traps in order to get it though. So you got to figure out the jumping pretty good. And
Oh, yeah, yeah.
that's where I was complaining to you about her jump because I
Hmm.
picked a chick, the red-haired chick, obviously, because that's yeah, that's that's apparently what I want to be.
Don't
No,
worry, so did I.
I always pick the girls, man. I always um, in video games, but it's not like you get to see her,
Right.
so
You're just
um,
being inclusive. You're the streets ahead.
yeah. So anyway, um, yeah, I picked the red-haired chick, and I didn't even look. They all have different stats, like they have different strengths and weaknesses. And I didn't even look at that.
Mm-hmm.
I just went, but man, she can freaking jump, yo! Like, she can jump a long way. I mean,
Yeah.
like at one point, I bailed off of this thing at the height of it. Like they got those rising platforms and stuff.
Right.
I
Right.
like bailed off this thing at the height of it, landed on a roof that I shit you not was like it was like 45, 50 feet away. Like it had to have been like it just bam landed on it. It's like
um,
what?
I think I've found that if you press forward and jump at the same time, like as like one simultaneous button press, it almost seems like she jumps further. So I want to try that
Yeah,
next. Just yeah, I like. Did you feel like
yeah.
that was the case?
Whereas otherwise you would like jump and then press forward, and she would just kind of
Mm-hmm.
go forward just a little bit. But
Mm-hmm.
if you end up
Or
jumping at an angle,
yeah,
and then like you go really far, it seems like anyway. I
yeah,
don't know.
or opposed to like if you're just walking forward and then you jump.
Oh yeah.
It like if you hit both of them at the same time as one button press, it almost seems like she goes further. I don't know, it's weird, but I mean that's kind of neat because that reminds me a lot of Half-Life, and that like Half-Life had the like the crouch jump that would make you jump further, which is almost kind of like doesn't make any
Oh
sense, you
yeah.
know? Yeah, but it
Yeah, and it would no, it was like a half height jump or something that it ended up being,
well
wasn't it?
it was like if I remember correctly, it's like half height, but you do go further. Specifically, there are certain like parts of the level, like because Half-Life was like pretty big on like first person platforming, and there were certain parts of the level that you couldn't progress unless you got that like crouch jump down just right,
Mm,
because the platform was further away. So that's what it
I see.
reminded me of.
Um, and I have for you about the game.
You would?
Uh, I have a question for you about Rise of the Triad.
Oh yes, please. Let me put on my
There's
my question glasses here.
question glasses. Dude, I'm looking. I just looked up the game here. It
Hmm.
came out last year,
Hmm.
dude.
Yeah, yeah,
I didn't
almost a
know
year
it was
ago
a
actually.
year already, man. It's crazy. Anyway, there's a level where you start off and there's these three spinny blade thingies in front of you.
Yeah, that's
Did you?
actually that was the one that I just quit on, and then like I got to that level and I was like, all right, I gotta call it a day, and I turned it off.
Oh, okay.
So I haven't actually gone anywhere in that level yet.
You let me know. I passed that level, but you let me know if you can get past those spinny blade things without getting hit,
Okay.
because I couldn't. uh, and they move you around. Like you can't just run over it and take the damage and just say, just cut your losses. They
Hmm.
like move you around back into them and kill you. So.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I died from one of them pretty early on with the guy where you can go and get God mode and everything like that. I died,
Oh
and
yeah.
I was just like, okay, well these spinning razor thingies are not fun. I don't like these.
The traps are well, but that was the thing in the first one too, or
Hmm.
in the old one. Is like those traps were terrible, dude.
Hmm.
Like killed you within seconds. They didn't move you around. I don't.
Hmm.
but I think that's just because they couldn't really do those kinds of physics, And
So you're pretty sure that you have a copy of the original?
yeah, I'm pretty sure I do.
Okay. Well, if not, I know that Good Old Games has it, and I think that sometime in the near future we should do a quick look of Rise of the Triad, both the old one and the new one. I think that'd be kind of neat
Okay,
and fun.
that'll be fun.
Fun.
Yeah, it'll be fun.
It'll be
Oh yeah, Good
fun.
Old Games has it for $6.
Yep. Yeah. Right.
Just,
So I don't know
just go ahead and do it.
anything else that you want to say on Rise of the Triad?
Um, no, not really. That pretty much does it.
Hmm.
I haven't gotten that far in it so far. I think, well, I passed that level
Hmm.
that we were just talking about with the little spinning blade things in front of you. I passed that level, so I'm on the next level, but then I quit because I think I walked out, and died instantly, and then
Hmm.
I was like, all right, I've had enough for right now. Um, oh, glitches,
Oh yeah, yeah.
dude, more than once. Like, okay, now you can only hold one special weapon at a time.
Hmm.
All right, so if you have that uber awesome shotgun and you run over a rocket launcher, she'll throw the shotgun down and pick up the rocket launcher.
Right.
All right, now more than once I have run over a weapon, okay, and it switched me, um, and then I walk back over my other one to switch back, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
But it seems like if you're in tight quarters, this happened to me twice while I was in like a vent, and once when I was out in the world.
Yeah.
So three times total this has happened to me. Run over an item, the new, a different gun,
Hmm.
throw down the other one, and it disappears.
Really?
Yeah, that's happened to me three times playing this game. I bought this game this morning.
Hmm.
All right, so,
Yeah.
like like
Not a very good
12 hours
hours
ago.
played. Yeah, not a
Yeah,
very good hours played to glitch ratio.
yeah, not so far. Um, oh, yeah, and the AI is super stupid.
Hmm. Yeah.
I've got well, again, that's probably the difficulty that we're on, but
Yeah.
I got a couple of screenshots to show you of people running into walls, and there was a thing um, that I saw. It was a crate that
Hmm.
had something written on it, and oh no, why did I have to go into this? And I'm not going to be able to remember what it was. I took a screenshot of it, but then I had to reboot my computer, and I forgot to save the stinking screenshot like a moron. Um,
Well, while you find that, one of the things that I was encountering a lot with the AI and weird glitches, specifically the AI. There earlier we were talking about that elevator that you go up, and there's that dude with the rocket launcher just standing like right in front of you, and
oh
immediately
yeah,
fires. I went up it, and I guess apparently like I was too many steps back in the elevator that when I got to the top, he just stood there, and I was like, "The hell's going on here?" And like I got two shots off before the elevator went down, and like I moved forward, and when I came back up, then he shot me. And I was like, "What is going on here?" Like I came up, and he just was like, "Hey, hey, when you come back up, or he's, hey, walk closer. I can't shoot you if you don't walk closer."
yeah. See, he shot me while I was in the damn um, elevator shaft.
Mhm, mhm.
That I got all pissed off because of that. I'm not finding this thing. Anyway, it was a oh nope, I found it. Hey, almost my exact screenshot.
Mhm.
It was a demonic experimental rectal possession crate, and it's derp.
Oh,
I thought that because I say derp a lot, so
Yeah,
I
nice.
thought I found that amusing. Um, well,
It's
that
very,
took a little bit to find, but
it's
I
very
was on
fun.
3 pages of Google Images. But
Well, cool. Anything else you wanted to add to Rise of the Triad?
not at this point in time. But we're gonna have to get back to that one after we finish it,
All right, all right.
because I'll definitely be finishing that game. It's good times.
Indubitably. So moving on to the next one, next game. This is one that we both played actually. You came over last night and hung out for a bit, and we played some You Don't Know Jack
Mm-hmm.
for the first time in probably ages for you. When was the last time you played a You Don't Know Jack game?
Junior, senior year of high school,
Oh man! And you graduated high school what year?
'99.
So we're talking late '90s. You haven't. It's been almost 15 years since you've played.
Yeah, just about. Yeah, yeah,
Man.
right at. Yeah, man.
Awesome. Yeah, so we were playing the new You Don't Know Jack that came out in I want to say 2010, 2011, something like that, and a little more up to date and everything. And I would you think of it? Did it harken back to those old experiences, or was it kind of did
Yeah,
it was?
it still had the screws.
Hmm.
You could screw another player, not like have sex with them. You can like screw them over.
Yes. Yes.
But Cookie was still is
The
still
announcer.
the announcer.
Hmm. Or
Um,
the host, I guess.
or yeah, the host. Super sarcastic. Just I freaking love it because you know how I am. But oh, and that's what the Jack Attack
Yeah.
was still there, and it was the exact same like font for Jack Attack
Yeah.
that I remember, and I was just it was so weird, dude. I was totally like in high school again, dude. Uh, yeah, as soon as that popped up on the screen, it was just like it was like the two moments in time linked up in my brain, you know, and it's just like, hey, I'm 17. No,
Right.
you're not. You're 33. So
I'm glad I
it
could
was
make
good.
you feel young again.
Yeah, for just a little while, and then you proceeded to dominate everybody in the Jack Attack. So
Yeah, that's normally how I win. Is you have a series of 10 questions, and I like we'll get some right, we'll get a lot wrong, and I'll end up in the negative, and then Jack Attack comes, and I'm able to just fucking take over and win the game. My wife Kylie gets so mad at me every time that we play it. In fact, it's part of the reasons why we haven't played it in so long. Is because I always win by the Jack Attack, even though she's totally beating my ass, before the Jack Attack.
well, you can't say always though because she won the last one.
That is true. Yes.
I don't know how she was doing it though. Like we'd all hit the button and hers would be the one that triggered
I
first.
know, right?
It was weird.
That was probably that was the only time I've ever played and felt like I hit the button and somebody else got it, and I was like, "What the fuck?
Yeah.
How is this happening?"
Oh yeah, and you learned to not use the screws on me.
Both times I used the screw, and I was just and like I didn't even give you a chance to really even read the question,
Yeah, that was the best part.
and you
Yeah,
just
so when you use the screw, okay, in the game, the other person now is a little bit different than I think. I think in the You Don't Know Jack that I played, which was Volume 1,
hmm
um, it I think it did something else. I could be wrong. I'm probably wrong. It's been
right.
15 years. So, but I just don't remember it cutting the time down to 5 seconds and you had to answer.
Hmm.
So, but anyway, it very well could have. And obviously, if you answer correctly, it backfires on the person who screwed you, right?
Right. Yeah.
Um, but so that's what happens in this game when you use the screw on somebody. Like if you see that, like, hey, they're like visibly having trouble with this question, you can screw them, and then they've got 5 seconds to read it and answer, and that's what Kyle did to me last night, and like I was reading it, and I had like my brow furled, you know, and he did the screw thing and screwed me on it, and as soon as the thing was able to let me choose, bam, chose. Still had 4 seconds on the thing, and I chose right, and I was just looking, I just flipped him off, It's like, oh my god, that was a good time.
That was good. That's a game I feel was a tad bit underrated, in that I'm sure a lot of people didn't really pick it up when it came back out. But as far as trivia games go, it's probably one of my favorite trivia games, and I wish more people would play it. I wish they would put out another one. It's been 3 or 4 years since they've done it. I really wish they'd bring out another one.
Really?
Yeah, yeah. Especially like at the beginning of that. So that game is set up in like episodes. So it's not like randomly generated the questions or anything of that sort. It puts them in like different orders. It's like it has 70 some odd episodes, and each episode has new questions. At the beginning of that game, it's talking about like Avatar and stuff like that. So it's relatively topical, but even 3-4 years after the fact, like now you play it now, it's like, what the fuck is Avatar? Oh yeah, that one movie.
Right.
With the blue people, I don't know, but
yeah, it looks like they got Steam re-releases, and right now that's about it. They released in 2012. They released a version on the Facebook.
Yeah,
that seems like what they did.
I forgot about that, and that was actually pretty neat in that your friends could play the game and answer the questions, and like at any point if you were playing it, as long as they had done it that day, like you were still competing against them, because it would time like how quickly you answered it, if you had the right answer, and what points you had and everything like that. So like I could play at the end of the day, and you had played like earlier that morning, and it would still like try to make it seem like we were playing against each other. That was really neat. So I forgot about that version. That was pretty good version.
Yeah, too bad nobody uses freaking Facebook anymore.
Yeah, well, there's that. So that's all I really have to say on You Don't Know Jack. I kind of wish it would still come back, because it's a pretty fun game.
Oh, it's not going anywhere.
That's true.
Come on, 1995. Why is everything like 1995, dude?
It was a big year.
Rise of the Triad was 1995.
Have we played anything from this decade?
Yeah, really. Well, what did we talk about? Well, not yet.
Well, both games that we played were from this decade, but their original games were from 20 years ago, including the next game that I'm going to move on to, which is XCOM. Which came out.
So Kyle, you've been playing some XCOM, huh?
Yeah. So I
put a note there next to it. So
yeah, I see your note on the Google Doc. And XCOM does not suck.
I hate to break it to you there, pal.
You know what? No. Here's the thing. You now have access to my Steam library, correct?
Oh yeah, that's true.
With the family share or whatever.
Yep.
So I'm going to task you with this. You need to download my copy of XCOM, and you need to play it. You need to give it a shot and see if you like it. Because let's be honest here, you only watched me play it that one time, and that was like the first time I'd ever played it, and it didn't go well. It was a bad experience for both of us. But I got to tell you, dude, that game is so deep, and it really makes you think, and it's a lot of fun. And you come out with some great stories, like the one that I've told numerous times on the old podcast of you
where
going
you killed me.
Yeah. And
shithead.
But it's such a great story. I mean, come on. Like, I know I killed you, and that kind of sucks, but
you killed me.
It was so perfect.
I'm your best friend.
It's like Kyle Penrod, the seasoned veteran, goes in with all these rookies, and he's like, "You rookies are all going home. I'll make it my goddamn goal. You're all going home." And the last mission, the last alien comes up, and he's like fighting them off and getting killed. And he's like, "You all get the hell out of here. I promised you all you're going home." I mean, it's great. It's a good game. But I recently purchased the Enemy Within DLC that apparently changes a lot about the game. So I've decided that I'm going to jump back in and start playing that again. But so far, so I restarted the game, and really the only thing that it does at the current moment, I've only done like 2 or 3 missions, is you now have a new um, element that you like have to get to in every mission, and like I guess that helps build mechs later on, because that's a big thing about the expansion is the mechs. So that's cool. I don't know. That's cool.
Hmm. Yeah, Max.
So yeah, mechs, robots and mechs. What else could you want? It's like the perfect game, right?
Except that not. I don't know, dude. I wasn't a fan of the old XCOM. I'm not really a fan of the new XCOM. So
Mhm.
you know,
I still think you should give it a shot.
all right. I'll play it for 10 minutes.
There you go. That's all I'm asking for is 10 minutes of your time.
10 minutes. Oh my god.
So that's all I really have on XCOM. I'm pretty excited that I got back into that. So, what was the other game that you played today, of all days?
Risk of Rain.
Really?
Yeah, and you know what's funny, dude? I didn't even think about it. Like, we have the family share thing. I totally could have just played your copy of Risk of Rain,
Oh, that's very
just
true.
to like whet my appetite on it,
Hmm.
or just to see if I wanted to buy it first, instead I just bought it. I mean, it's not on sale or anything. It's $10. Came out was last November. It
Yeah.
came out, and it's not really a roguelike. Because like the levels are the same.
Hmm.
Like the platforms on the levels are all the same.
Hmm.
Not where things are in the level is the same, but like it says roguelike, so I expected it to have completely new generated worlds
Right.
every
Right.
time.
Yeah.
But it doesn't. So whatever. But it doesn't matter because the game's friggin' awesome. I played that game for. Actually, I'm gonna go ahead and get you the actual real 64 minutes today
Nice.
alone. Now, it's only 64 minutes, but still, that was in one sitting. Like, I just kept going, man.
Hmm. Hmm.
Um, and yeah, that game is fun, dude. But it's got some roguelike elements. It's an indie game. 2 students apparently from Wash U
Oh, really?
um, made it under Hopu Games. Um,
Say that
so
5 times
yeah,
fast.
it was a student project. It was funded through Kickstarter and released November 2013. So you have to play with a controller. If you can play a platformer with a keyboard, you're a freaking god. I can't do it. It's too. I'm too slow on the keyboard, I
Yeah.
guess.
Yeah.
Um, the where you got your keyboard and your hands are like this, you have your controller and your hands are like this, and you can just do things faster. Um, but I got really good at juking enemies in that game. Oh yeah, before I get into that, so as the game progresses, the more time goes on, the more you level up,
And
the harder it gets.
the more
Sorry.
difficult the game gets.
Yeah, the harder it gets.
Hmm.
So more enemies spawn, more difficult enemies spawn, huge enemies spawn. Um, but the thing is, though, there's ways that you can just basically just chill there and farm up.
Right.
I've already figured out like the small enemies can't jump gaps,
Yeah.
so like you can jump the gap, stand over there, and just mow them down with no risk of, with no risk of rain,
Yeah.
of getting
I'm
hurt.
kidding.
What? Well, most enemies don't shoot at you.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Like
Yeah.
most of them, that's the thing. You have a gun. Most of the enemies don't shoot,
Mhm. Mhm.
so you can juke around them and get to an area where you can just blast them and they can't get to you.
Mhm.
Um, so yeah, I did that a lot. I played one match for like 20 minutes straight, um, which I thought was pretty good
Yeah.
for this type of game. But I got cheesed out by a freaking boss that just showed up,
Yeah.
and I was just like, oh man, because I was on my way to go pick up the last chest and then go start the boss battle, and I had like this banner thing, like you pick up items, dude. I had the perfect thing. I had two drones that were both offensive drones, so they were shooting, okay, along with me. Um, and I had a power up that was that gave me health when I did damage. I had a power up that healed me when I was out of combat. I had another power up that healed me if I sat for 2 seconds out of combat, and I healed more. Dude, I could just sit there and heal to full life within like 10 seconds.
Wow.
And like just go get beat to shit again, and then just stop and wait.
Yeah,
You
just jump
know,
out of the way. Yeah.
yeah, and I mean, you had to get yourself out of combat though. Like you had to
Mhm.
get somewhere where they couldn't get you,
Right.
uh,
Right.
because they will keep you in combat. Um, but and
How?
then I had the thing that made I had for this one 20-minute match, I had a thing that made him bleed, and I had the banner. Now the
Mhm.
banner is OP as hell because when you level up, your guy will drop a little banner, and then he gets a super awesome buff. He shoots faster, he does more damage while he's in that banner thing, right? So I
Mhm.
had three of those banners placed around. Like I intentionally stopped attacking enemies, ran back to the teleporter that's where you start the boss battle at the teleporter.
Mhm.
Ran back there, dropped the banner there, then went and fought more enemies and stuff and opened chests and did all kinds of things. And then again, when I was going to level, ran all the way back to the thing, dropped the banner there because I'm going to need them. They stay on the map forever, so I'm going to need them for the boss fight.
Yeah.
Because I'll stand in those things and just trash the boss, right? So on my way to pick up the last chest, this boss just appears out of nowhere and starts kicking the shit out of me. I got him down to about half life and then died, and it's like, man, that really made me mad.
Mhm.
Uh, and but that's how it goes.
So the way
Oh,
she
and then
goes.
I played a few other matches where I just got completely hosed right off the bat
Yeah.
and died within like minutes. So.
So, real quick, like, how quickly does the uh difficulty like increase? Like, is it like a 5 minute interval, and then the difficulty goes up, and then on top of that, like, how does the game get more difficult? Is it just throwing more enemies at you, or do the enemies have more health? Are they more aggressive? Like, I guess.
Uh,
Go ahead.
they have the same amount of aggression all the time,
Hmm.
but they end up with a lot of health.
Hmm.
So in particular, the little fireball guys,
Hmm.
those guys are really tough, dude. Like they can take. Like I would rather have like one of those sand crab guys, or like I'd rather have a bunch of those sand crab guys and fight those guys than like two of those little fireball
Yeah.
guys, dude. Those guys, and then they have a bigger version of those
Hmm.
that has a shotgun basically. Okay, your guy, I forgot about that. Your guy has abilities. Like his first ability is just normal shoot, right?
Yeah.
Just pop,
Yeah.
pop, pop, pop. His second ability is like a big shot, like a shotgun shot that blows enemies back, but it hits everything in a line. And side note on that one, I was fighting a whole bunch of like big sand crab enemies,
Yeah. Hmm.
and as I would shoot that thing, like it would travel through all the enemies directly in front of me, and then go kill things off screen, and then all of a sudden this experience and gold and shit kept flooding onto the screen at me.
That's
It was
awesome.
pretty hilarious watching.
That's awesome.
Um, and then his third ability is a rolling, like a he like leaps forward and rolls past enemies, what I would call a juke.
Yeah.
Um, so like you can juke to the other side of them, run away from them, and just generally, just get away. Because they all just swarm you. They all just run up to you and just stand on you and pound you into the ground.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then your fourth ability is like a rapid fire, like pa 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 pa, and it pushes them back a lot too. So I've learned to stagger the shotgun and that fourth ability,
Hmm.
like, use one of them, like use the shotgun, boom, now it pushes them back, shoot them, and wait until they get real close to me, and then use the other one.
Hmm. Hmm.
That way the cooldowns, that way I've always got some way of pushing them off of me.
Yeah.
So I learned to do that pretty quickly, actually. And movement, dude, movement. You've got to move. You can move through the enemies, and like the big enemies, they all take a second to load up their big hit on you.
Hmm.
So you can literally just run through them. That actually works to your benefit. That gets them to stop. So you run through them, they'll trigger that, they'll go to hit you, and you'll be gone by the time it lands, and they're still way back there. So like, you can actually use that to your benefit on the bigger enemies. Not so much the little fireball guys. But they telegraph what they're gonna do.
Yeah.
And I know I'm being long-winded, but
Oh, that's all
um, they they telegraph what they're gonna do. They make a noise before they shoot you,
right.
so
Yeah.
you have to jump. So yeah, it's a fun game. Um, if he ever listens to this, I apologize for the comment in advance. But David from Backwards Compatible, he was playing that, and he was talking about really liking it, and I didn't believe him about that game at all. Like, not even close, But yeah, no, that game is really,
Mhm.
really fun. Um, and I don't know if you can ever beat the game.
I mean, I would assume that there's an end state of some sort.
Yeah.
You know, it's not an early access game or anything of that sort, so one would assume that it is beatable. What that entails, I wouldn't actually know because I've only played like 10 minutes of it last night. And that was us trying to
At
figure
all?
out. No, no. I bought it like back in March or something like that. It had gone on sale for $5, and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna pick this up, and I picked it up, and I mean, my daughter was just born in April, so I just no
Right.
time,
Yeah,
just
yeah, you're right.
buying games that I can't play.
Yeah, I keep forgetting about Maddie. Poor
Yeah.
Maddie.
So, but no, I'm from what you're telling me, it sounds very interesting. I'm definitely excited to play more of it and play some online co-op with you. I think that'll be a good time.
Yeah, just some scores here. Metacritic rated as 78 of 100.
Hmm.
Eurogamer 8 of 10. Game Informer 7.5 of 10. GameSpot 8 of 10. Polygon 8.5 of 10.
Hmm.
Like,
So it
that
sounds
this game is well received,
yeah,
man.
that sounds like pretty above average scores there. So that's good to
Yeah,
hear.
really. If you're in it for graphics, forget it.
Well, but
Uh,
it's got the retro graphics, man. That's making a comeback. So
yeah.
yeah, I will say that's one of the first things that I noticed was even like I knew it was a pixel bit type of graphic style, but even then it's very minimalistic, and I was like, oh
Oh yeah.
Jesus. So awesome. Well, those are the four games that we've been playing this week. We got Rise of the Triad, You Don't Know Jack, XCOM, and Risk of Rain. I would say all of them great games, wouldn't you, Kyle?
Well, I would say that 3 of those are great games.
Oh, get over your hatred for XCOM.
Yeah.
You, you wuss.
No,
Like baby.
oh, I'm a wuss, huh?
Yeah,
So what do
big
you
baby.
so what do you got here on this thing here that says news?
So this is the news that I found interesting for this week. Um, Actually, I'm pretty sure one of these news stories is kind of from last week, but hey, who's counting? So the first one that I wanted to talk about was a report that I had read from Adam Boyes, who is the hold on, my computer is having a brain fart. There we go. He is the vice president of developer and publisher relations with Sony Computer Entertainment America, and he was quoted. I think it was an article with Gama Sutra. He was quoted in saying that they were interested in making early access, like an early access program for developers on PS4. So, as I'm sure a lot of people know, early access is one of the initiatives that Steam started like a year or so ago, where developers could put their games on Steam in an unfinished state and have them under the early access, banner, and it's more of a alpha or beta, what have you. It varies per game, but you're buying into the game essentially early, and you're kind of helping with the development of it, and uh, you know, pretty much popularized by Minecraft. That was kind of how Minecraft started,
Yeah.
and so it looks like they're interested in trying to set something up like that for PS4. There's no concrete plans or anything like that. This kind of bothers me a little bit because I feel like early access on Steam has not been the greatest thing to come out of it. Do you have any views on early access?
Um, I mean, I don't mind the early access games. I mean, there was actually, I think there. Yeah, I'm gonna sound like a hypocrite. I think there's only been one early access game that I bought, that paranormal game.
Yeah.
Um, but I really like the idea of that one.
Hmm.
That, but I mean, I like the early access games. It's a good idea. It works to help developers get the like get some money now.
Hmm.
That way they can finish developing a good game. Otherwise, and you'll have to forgive me, while you were talking, I was reading a little bit, about, like, early, what people think of early access games and stuff. A lot of people will sit there and rip on it, because, like, well, why can't you do it normally or whatever? And it's like,
Yeah.
well, not everybody has all the money, so.
Yeah.
No, I like the early access model.
Hmm.
I think there's too many games in it, though. Like, you can go on Steam, dude, and you can find early access games like fucking crazy.
Yeah.
I think there's too much, but whatever. The good ones will get made and the bad ones won't, right?
Hmm. Yeah, and
So.
and I think that's probably my biggest issue with early access is it's very oversaturated at the moment, especially with the type of games that keep coming through to early access. Specifically, like the Minecraft and the DayZ clones. Yeah, and they are just constantly being released, early access, and I'm trying to think of one that's there. I haven't seen too many games come out of early access yet. I know that there's been a few. Specifically, there was that Sir You're Being Hunted game that was in early access that just recently went live. Became a finished product. But like I don't hear about early access games like being finished very often. And specifically, we both bought Paranormal,
Hmm.
um, which is I don't, what would you call it, like a scaring simulator? you know?
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, like it's kind
Like,
of
you're
like
playing that game to get terrified.
yeah, yeah, and it was definitely a neat concept and a neat idea. and it was executed pretty good. But I haven't played it, since that first few go rounds, and I think one of the reasons why I haven't is like I want to wait to see. I don't want to play like the small incremental updates. I want to wait until like a whole new level is added with whole new stuff. And we bought that game almost a year ago, and
Yeah.
they're still not. It's still not done or anywhere near. Like we have, last that I read, they had decided to remodel the house in a different engine, which is, I guess, cool because that means that it'll look better. But it's like, well, shit. Now it's going to be a long time before I get to play anything different in that game.
Yeah.
So I'm cautiously optimistic about early access games, but at the current moment, I feel like it hasn't been a proven method, and I just feel like there's too much slop out there, and it kind of bothers me that a large corporation like Sony is interested in bringing this to their console.
Well,
Um,
I'm going to tell you something about Sony. All right.
yeah.
Sony Sony fucks up everything they put their hands on. So
How
they,
how so? How so? I want to hear this.
well, Star Wars Old Republic.
That
I
wasn't
think
Sony.
yeah, it was.
No, it wasn't.
That I'm thinking of the wrong game. The
Oh,
Star Wars MMO.
uh, you're thinking of Star Wars Galaxies. That was Sony
Yeah, that's
Online
it.
Entertainment. There,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's it. Yeah, no, they put their hands on that and immediately went to shit. Um, every dude, Sony puts out bad products. All
No,
right.
they don't. Come
PlayStation aside, hang on. PlayStation aside, everything that Sony does is shash.
on.
So
No.
yes, they're gonna do it wrong, and they're gonna fuck it up. So it's not gonna stay around for much. It's not
Shut
gonna stay
up.
around for very long. I'm serious.
You're so full of shit. It's retarded.
No, no, I'm not. I'm not the only one that thinks this. Um,
Listen. Hold on. I am not defending Sony and saying that like everything that they put out is amazing and you
sounds
should
like
buy
it.
all of it. No, that is not what I'm saying. What I am defending is you can't say that everything that they do is shit. Like there's been a lot of good things to come out of there. There's been a lot of really shitty things to come out of there. It's a fucking business. It's just the way it's the nature of the beast and how it works. Like yeah, Star Wars Galaxies was not very good. Um,
Well,
and
it was until Sony got a hold of it.
Sony was a hold of it like from the get go, if I recall correctly, and I'll look this
No,
up.
they didn't have creative. They didn't have like creative rights to the game.
Hmm.
Well, okay. Now I'm going to say this, but I have not verified this. This was told to me uh, by my buddy Dwayne. But apparently, they had their name on that game in money alone
Hmm.
for a long time. But then they like took over like the creative, they like took over the game from whatever
Hmm.
developers they had working on the game in order to make it I guess make it more profitable, or what they actually ended up doing was drive it into the freaking ground. And
Hmm.
you can ask anybody that played that game,
Hmm.
and they will tell you that. I
Um,
never played that game though, so I mean, like I said, I'm going on what has been told to me by a good friend of mine. So
yeah.
uh,
Um, I'm looking at the Wikipedia page here real quick, and you're not too far off from what you're saying. It says LucasArts Entertainment announced a partnership with Varant Interactive Incorporated and Sony Online Entertainment to create the first MMO Star Wars role-playing game.
mhm.
The then unnamed game would be developed by Varant with online play supported by SOE, the same team responsible for creating and supporting the popular fantasy MMO EverQuest. And I think as you go down, it looks like Varant became less and less involved, and
And Sony became more and more.
yeah, hold on. Anyway, I see what you're saying, and fair enough. But you also have to remember that Sony Online Entertainment is a like that isn't Sony as a whole. That is, essentially a studio of Sony, that makes games, and they've made quite a few games out of there. None that are coming to my mind at this current moment, but
Yeah, precisely my point.
shut up.
Uh,
Um,
they'll do it. They'll implement it bad, dude. I promise.
well, it's
Um,
it's not even so much like how Sony will like fuck it up. It's more how developers will kind of continue to abuse it, and I hope that developers kind of get the idea that the more games that they put under early access, the more harm that they could possibly actually do to their brand. Um,
yeah,
specifically, and like a big thing is, on Steam, there's not really. I don't even know if you have to have a working game to be considered early access. You could just have a like an INI file that gets downloaded when people purchase your game. You're like, hey, it's early access. Hey, you know what you were buying.
dude. That I would, I would bitch, dude.
Mhm.
Like, I would bitch a lot.
Yeah.
Um, if that ever happened when I
Right.
bought an early access game, because the thing is, like when I bought Paranormal as early access game, right?
Mhm.
Like I knew that I was getting an unfinished product,
Mhm.
and I was okay with that. But I also knew that I was getting a product that I could at least play.
Right.
Like I
Right.
could at least see and do something with,
Mhm.
interact with, even if it didn't even have an ending or anything like that, and you just endlessly walked around the house and got creeped out. That would have been worth the money,
Right.
for that particular game. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
I think the early access games have to have they have to have like so much done.
Mhm. Mhm.
You know, they shouldn't be able to just throw an INI file on somebody's computer and go, "Oh, it's an early access game. I'm not done with it yet." No, that's
Right.
bullshit.
Yeah.
That should never happen on any of the platforms. Steam, Sony, whoever's doing the early access games.
Yeah.
That should never happen. That's completely uncalled for.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
so
No, and I agree, and I kind of wish that there was a way that a game that's in early access could be, like on the little icon, it's like, hey, this is an alpha, or hey, this is a beta, like these are what you need to expect when you're buying an alpha or when you're buying a beta. An alpha isn't feature complete and things are constantly changing. A beta is feature complete, but it's still being tweaked here and there for certain things or whatever. Like I feel like if developers kind of came with that in mind and a better like transparency on exactly like what you're getting when you purchase this game, I feel like that would be it would ease my mind a little bit more. But it doesn't. I guess at the end of the day, it's not that big of a deal because I'm not really buying a lot of early access games,
right.
But I I mean, I feel like people should really do the research before they purchase a game. But I do feel bad for the people who purchase it and aren't necessarily looking where they need to look, and then they get like a completely busted game, and the developer can't, make enough money to actually support it, and they go under. So it's like, okay, well, just put in money for this half broken piece of shit. Hooray!
I
Um,
think to yeah, I understand. I understand what you're saying there.
mhm.
But I think in the case like that, I kind of think that it should be a trade-off for the early access thing. If they can't complete the game, I kind of think that they ought to take that game and everything that they made for it, just give it to the people that paid for it.
Yeah, yeah.
Like maybe somebody who paid for that game, wants to see it done and would be able to get it done, you know, anyway. You know what I
Hmm.
mean?
Hmm.
Um, I mean, because they paid for something,
Yeah,
So I
yeah.
mean, that could be completely a completely retarded idea, but I mean, it's just one thing
Hmm.
to kind of ease the pain of, oh, I gave money for this and it went under, and now I've got nothing.
Yeah.
You know, like that was a complete waste of money. You know, so
Yeah, what
I
are you
don't know.
doing?
I
So
could be talking out
that's
of my ass.
no, you're good. I trust everything that you say, and I love you dearly. That was the first news story that I wanted to take a look at. The second one I'll kind of gloss over a little bit because we're running a little bit long here, but um, Sega's got a new Alien game coming out called Alien Isolation,
Hmm.
and it harkens back to the original Alien movie, and that it's a tight corridor. You're exploring, trying to find the xenomorph, and it's constantly popping out, trying to scare you and whatnot. It's another one of them scare games.
Hmm.
And I've heard a lot of really good things about it. I'm very interested in it, but they announced the other day that GameStop would have an exclusive pre-order that would get you two extra missions. One being called The Crew Expendable, and the other being called Last Survivor. And those missions actually bring back the original cast of Alien, digital recreations of Sigourney Weaver and Harry
Hmm.
Dean Stanton and all that jazz. Um, you know, which is neat. But I think the reason why I put this on here, and the reason why I wanted to talk about it was, it's like, what are your views on pre-order bonuses? Because this shit's starting to get really ridiculous.
I'm fucking sick of pre-order bonuses.
Yeah.
Where do you keep going?
I might just into the abyss.
Yeah, really. He keeps going off camera and it's freaking me out. Ah! And he was staring at me. Um, no, dude, I'm flat out sick of pre-order bonuses.
Yeah.
Like, pre-orders are fine. Pre-orders started in an age uh, in an age where not everyone could get the media that they needed to play their new video games. You know, when the way you bought games
Yeah.
was, and kids are so spoiled nowadays, dude. They're so spoiled. But the way you bought video games was you went down to the store, talked to a person, gave them some money, they handed you a box, and if it wasn't on DVD, it had like 20 CDs in there, okay, of your video game. The last the last game that I can remember buying that was on CDs, not DVDs, on CDs was
Right.
Half-Life 2. And it came on 3 or 5 discs, and I can't remember
Hmm.
how many. And I actually only just recently threw out the media.
Oh wow.
Yeah, because you don't need it
Yeah.
because Steam.
You got Steam.
Yeah, exactly. So, anyways, the but that's what the pre-orders were for. There was, oh yeah, because on game day, on
Hmm.
release day,
Hmm.
you would go down to the store and you'd be like, "Hey, do you have Half-Life 2?" And they'd be like, "Get out of here, kid! Everybody bought those in the first 10 seconds of being open a day," And then you had to wait,
Yeah.
Or if you were lucky enough, you had friends, but they had CD keys then, so it wouldn't matter because you still couldn't play the damn thing. Um, so so they started doing pre-orders. So you would go in there, give them $5, that reserved your copy. Oh, that was nice. Everybody did that, and that way the store knew how many copies that they needed to get,
Right.
for the pre-orders, and then it also alleviated the problem a little bit of running out of stock because they would order for all their pre-orders and then order stock for the store too.
Yeah.
See, so even on the first game day, everybody that's beating down the door at early morning, they're all there for their pre-order. The store still had stock for the late people.
Hmm.
So it worked out great. And then they started adding you asked for a history lesson, right? I'm
Yeah.
sorry. But then they started adding bonuses to pre-orders, and it added more shit to the game. I don't like that shit
Hmm.
because for one, we're in the we're in the digital age with this shit. I haven't bought a game in a store in so long. World of Warcraft, the Wrath of the Lich King.
That was
That
your
was the
last.
last game that I bought in a store for with physical to have physical media.
Hmm.
Um, that was right when it came out. So that was the last game I bought in a store. Everything else, I buy through Steam or Origin or the Ubisoft one or
Uplay.
yeah. How many others do I have installed on my computer?
Yeah.
Fucking Jesus. So yeah, you know, there's no need to have pre-orders anymore.
Right.
Why do they want your money before the game comes out?
Um.
And not even all of it, just like
Yeah.
$5.
Yeah.
You
Well,
know?
so a lot of that is you'll notice like this pre-order is exclusive to GameStop, and it's I think it's exclusive to GameStop because with the advent of digital games through Steam and Xbox Live and PlayStation Network, like brick and mortar stores are kind of up shit creek. The writing's on
Yeah,
the
I
wall.
can see where they're hurting. Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm sure they're paying a little extra money to get some pre-order bonuses. That way, people will come in and pre-order through their store. Plus a pre-order is getting some money in advance and everything. For a product that you're not necessarily like giving out just yet. So yeah, I'm sure there's like some funny business that goes on there and whatnot that looks good, especially for numbers on your shareholder calls or whatever. But
Hmm.
it's like I don't have a problem with getting a bonus for pre-ordering, even though I don't necessarily pre-order. Because I mean, yeah, in this day and age, like you go to a store and chances are it's probably going to have it, and you know, but it's like you look at games like Watch Dogs or anything else, and like or Destiny, I think is the next one, and like all of their pre-orders are like multi-tiered, and like if you pre-order it from this store, you get this pre-order bonus. If you pre-order it from this one, then you get this pre-order bonus, and it's like it's spreading it so thin, and afterwards everything's available for sale anyway. So it's like, what's the fucking point? Specifically these two missions are going to be available for DLC.
Yeah. Well, what the hell?
Yeah, and that kind of annoys me because it's like, well, if you pre-order, then you get them for free, and it's like, well, but you've already like made them, and they're kind of already in the game. Why not just put them in the game for everybody? Wouldn't that be kind of cool?
Yeah, for the
You
people
know,
that bought the fucking game.
right? Like,
I mean, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off,
no,
but
you're good. I
um,
was just kind of wrapping back around on the point, but go ahead.
um, dude, in this day and age where they want you to believe that piracy is causing problems for their
Hmm.
for their business, like the people that buy the games. Okay, now
Hmm.
I'm not excluding us from that. More often than not, I buy games and pirate them
Yeah.
anymore. Not because I'm fearful or anything. Uh, well, mostly because I don't trust people.
Hmm.
Because the people, the people that package that game up off their computer, who knows what their freaking computer, had on it and what they put in it intentionally, So,
Yeah. Yeah.
um, that's why I just don't trust that at all. Um, so yeah, but, the people that are buying the games, you you need to give them the full fucking game.
Yeah.
All right, I mean seriously, because you need to kiss their damn feet. Because, like I said, I know piracy doesn't actually impact their business as much as they'd like you to believe.
Hmm.
Um, but yes, it does impact it some. Because like there was a pirated game that I played. It was South Park: The Stick of Truth. Really awesome game. We'll go into it later, but I pirated that. There's no chance that I'm going to buy it because I've already played the game in its entirety. So, so yes, that does kind of detract from their sales a little bit. Otherwise, I would have bought it, but a friend of mine had already had it, and here you go, kind of thing. So, all
You're a
right,
bad person.
yeah, I know. But yeah, like I said, there's zero chance that I'm going to buy it now because I played that entire game. So
Right.
um, so there is that. My original point is that if you've got people buying your product in a world where you think that your business is just bleeding out because of piracy, you need to take care of the people that are buying your product.
Yeah.
That's it, plain and simple. Um, and not make them do something else to get the extra missions and shit. DLC is fine, but like to gain them through a pre-order, come on, just
Just give me the game. Just give me the full game.
just give the people the fucking game,
Don't make me have to pre-order it and go to GameStop, which like I don't even know how that's gonna work for people who play PC because like is this getting a disc release on PC? Like I guess it is. I hope it
Yeah.
is because if not, then you don't get these. You have to pay for them extra. I don't know. It's just it. I wish the business practices were a little bit better. I mean, at the end of the day, it's not the end of the world, but it's just I remember a day when you just pre-ordered to make sure that they had it in stock for you.
Yeah.
Not you didn't pre-order to make sure that you got all this extra stuff that would come with the game. And most of the time it's like really stupid shit. Like fucking skins for your guns or like different outfits and whatnot that are like really fucking hokey and dumb. But this is like legit gameplay stuff that you're kind of pushing off to the side
Yeah.
for the select few that pre-order the game. And even then, like you only get it if you pre-order it. Like, what if I don't have the money to pre-order it? Like I'll have money to buy the game, but I won't have money to buy the game. I won't feel right buying the game until like a month after release. And now I miss out on that because I didn't pre-order it. And it's like, just let it come with the game. Like
Yeah.
it's already done, it's already finished. Put it on the disc, put it in the file. The digital file. Like, let it come with the game. But
Plain
this
and
is the
simple.
business. This is the business. So
Yeah, well, their business is fucking stupid. But you know what though? And I realize we're running long. But this has to be said. The gaming industry has never really been the best run business.
no, no.
Um, like they don't know. And I've said it before. They don't know what their customers want. They keep coming out with weird shit. Look at all the shit that came out in the '90s. Like I've got two posters on my wall here. That one's for the Nintendo Power Glove, and one is for the Nintendo Game Genie.
Yeah.
Now while the Game Genie was a great product and and sold like crazy, they also did stupid shit like the Power Glove.
Hmm.
Nobody wants to play games like that.
No.
And it's just the and the Connect. Don't even get me started on the Connect. That the Connect requires that you have 6 feet of open space
Hmm.
in a room. Now that would be like one whole room in one of the biggest rooms in my house.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's nuts. They don't even know what their people what their customer base wants.
Hmm.
So
Well, I mean, it's hard to be a innovator. I guess it's hard to assume what people want and figure out what people want without you know ham fisting it. But this I can Somebody should have been in a meeting going, "This is probably a bad idea,"
Yeah.
and they didn't. There's like and there probably was somebody. There was somebody in a meeting going, "Boss, this is probably a bad idea," and the boss was probably like, "You know what? Fuck you. You're fired."
Yeah,
Because this is a
probably.
great idea because we get more money this way or whatever. I don't know. So
Fuck you, you're fired.
So that was that news story I wanted to bring up, and then the last one that I wanted to bring up real quick is there's a new Humble Bundle going on right now. It's going on for the next week, I believe, and it's the Humble 2K bundle that you can get up to, let's see here, 8 games right now, and they're adding more games on Tuesday. They include the 3 Bioshocks, the Bureau, XCOM Declassified, Darkness 2, XCOM Enemy Unknown, Mafia 2, and Spec Ops: The Line. Um, I would totally recommend it. Those are some good games. Did you know about this, Kyle, at all?
No, I'm actually looking at it right now.
Yeah.
I actually lost touch with the Humble Bundle. I haven't really.
I'm not gonna lie. They haven't really had a whole lot of great things or like great bundles recently. But these are always like the good ones that they do when they're doing publisher bundles.
Yeah.
So
I am Bioshock 1 and 2.
yeah,
I never played Bioshock Infinite. Man.
you gotta get on that. You
I've
gotta get
got
on
I've got here we go 28 minutes
that.
in that game.
On Bioshock Infinite.
Yep.
Yeah. So yeah, I recommend anyone who's interested in that pick it up. That's a good deal. I'm sure that's not news to anyone, but obviously it was news to Kyle, so I figured I'd bring it up.
Yeah, well, well, like you said though, they kind of they kind of
Yeah,
haven't had a lot of stuff.
their offerings recently, have not been that great. But I mean, to be, these bundles are for charity and everything like that. So I always recommend that you
Yeah.
pick them up anyway, because it's always going to a good cause. So, so with that, that ends our news segment there. The only thing I have left to ask is, what do you got? What do you got planned for this week? Are there anything that you're gonna play?
Well, I need to come up with I need to start keeping a running list of games that I need to complete. Well, like you did,
Yeah.
is you went through your list and like I actually wish we could sort our libraries in Steam. Um,
Oh,
like
you can. It's not fun because you have to do it yourself. Steam doesn't have like an automated system or anything like that, but you can definitely you can put your games into categories. I have mine
uh,
split into 2. I have it split into games to complete and completed. Um, but I have
I'm gonna go through and do that because like I've got games like Awesome Knots and Dragon's Prophet and
yeah.
Legend of Dungeon. Shit, Risk of Rain. Shit that these games don't necessarily have an end.
Hmm.
So like I want to put all those, like over to the side, like we're not worried about completing that. Those, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then like games to complete, and like you said, complete, and games that are completed. Which will probably be just a list of uninstalled games, but
Yeah.
because I uninstall them as I beat them. So
Hmm. Yeah, I recommend doing that. I came to the conclusion that I have, and this hasn't been updated with me purchasing the 2K bundle, but I have 185 games and only 42 are completed, so that's
mm,
22%. Um, but yeah, I recommend doing that, and that's actually what I want to kind of do at the end of this podcast is like try to pick a game from here and see how far you can get or see if you can complete it. You know, um, so.
what, like an assignment kind of thing?
Yeah, sort of. Like you could even take a look at mine and pick a game from there and tell me to play it, and I could come back and tell you how good or how bad it was. That type of thing. Who knows? In fact, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna share that. I'm gonna share this with you real quick. Uh,
You know what's weird? I'm not seeing your library. I wonder if it's only because you're online. When you're offline, I see it.
no, you should see it when I'm online.
I don't see. Yeah, I don't see it.
You're talking about on Steam?
Yeah.
Hmm. Yeah, it should be like underneath where it's like all games, all software, recent installed favorites. There should be one underneath that that says, my games, um, like my name on Steam. But I don't know. So I'm assuming you're gonna play Rise of the Triad and Risk of Rain this week.
Yeah. Rise of the Triads on my. I'm targeting that.
Cool.
That one's going down.
Cool. I recommend you download XCOM and at least play a half hour to an hour of it. See if you like it. I think you'll really enjoy it.
You're killing me.
Oh, shut up! Quit being a
You're,
baby.
you're flat out killing me.
Quit being a baby.
All right, I
I'm
will try it. How much is that game, by the way?
at well, right now on the 2K bundle you get it for $20. I think it's normally like 30 or something like
That is
that.
30. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, whatever. I'm gonna use your copy. I ain't buying that game.
So, I think I'm also gonna play some Rise of the Triad, and I think I might check out either Mafia 2 or The Darkness 2, because those are two games that seem relatively interesting. I'm gonna check those out. Those are some that I picked up with the Humble Bundle. So,
Hmm.
and I don't know, maybe if when we do this next
Check
week.
out. I'm curious about Darkness too.
Hmm.
Do that one
Okay.
if you can.
Yeah.
Mafia 2 is probably really bad.
I figure it's a Grand Theft
Probably.
Auto, but set in 19 whatever.
Yeah, the first Mafia was pretty bad.
Mhm.
All I remember is there was this one really fast car on there that you could not control worth a shit.
I
Um,
heard the cars like only went up to like 20 miles an hour or something like that. Like you could almost run faster than you could drive.
most cars, yes,
Hmm.
but not this one.
Hmm.
And actually, Mafia car. I have to look up. I have to look up the vehicles real quick. And of course, I'm not seeing it fast enough. It had a really stupid name too, like yeah, I'm not seeing it on this list here. Crazy Horse. There we go. Yep, that was it. Completely not even gonna control that car. And seriously, and its top speed was 156 miles an hour.
Oh my god.
So,
That's nuts.
so think about this. You're trying to control, like controlling a modern car, like cars that they make nowadays,
Yeah.
at 156 miles an hour is a little bit of a trick.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
all of a sudden you're controlling one of these cars when they just started making cars.
That's a death wish.
It was pretty bad.
That's crazy. All right, well, yeah, I'll check out The Darkness 2, um, and I'll play some more Rise of the Triad and everything of that sort. Those will probably be the only two games that I really get a chance to play this week.
Mm. Yeah, we
But
should get down on some multiplayer Rise of the Triad.
yeah, definitely. I played a little bit of that earlier today, and the only bummer is it's not a very active community anymore. But hopefully, since it's been on sale, more people will play it. But it definitely harkens back to like the Quake 3, days and everything. So that's neat.
Oh yeah.
So, and with that, is there anything else that you wanted to bring to the table?
That's about all I got. All my long-winded stories are now exhausted. I got to make more.
Yay! All right. Well, I don't know about you, but I think this went relatively well.
Yeah. You want to go ahead and take us off, though?
Yeah, yeah. No, I'm gonna end this out. I do want to say that hopefully we'll get back to this next week, and soon we'll have a website. We'll actually have this on iTunes, everything like that. So either way, right now you can find it on YouTube if you want to watch it. And I don't know. Thanks for watching if anyone watched. Thanks for listening if anyone listened. And we'll see y'all next time.
Weehaw!
And now I'm going to hit the stop broadcast.